Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you hear me okay. Good morning, Miguel. Hey, I'm from here. How are you guys? Good morning, good morning. Okay. We are very, very close to final product set. I just got the algos today. So hopefully by tomorrow, I'll be able to test everything for you guys, and we'll have the algos in place. I have a couple of interesting thoughts that I wanted to kind of share with you guys, and you know, we'll see if any of these ideas make sense as we go along. So right, you know, as I'm looking right now, we got no setups on the 9:30. We're obviously not going to take any trades for a little bit, so we'll just you know, we'll just watch the markets. Market after making a big pop pre numbers actually really came back down hard. I'm just looking for wonder why they didn't oh, I guess maybe it was plus 10. I see. Okay. Really? Let me oh, just a difference between the futures and the CFDs. So I had a thought today, actually, that came to me when I was doing the MT4 course earlier today, that could be very helpful to us. So, you know, our basic structures is, first of all, we're always upward bias positive in equities because it's an upward bias market. But couple of things that could really give us some confidence. And what I'm actually going to get rid of all the currencies right now, because today we're just going to talk about equities for the time being, and then we'll come back to the same idea on currencies. But for now, I just want to talk about equities. So I have an NDX on a 1 minute. NDX, another chart window over here. And actually, I want to, let me see if I can set this as default. Yes. Okay, and let me kill this. Let me do another chart. So here's NDX. This is 1 minute. And what I want to do is I want to look at the 1 hour. Okay. I want to look at the 1 hour chart to give me some interesting perspective. So what do we see on the 1 hour chart? We obviously see continuous and very, very strong uptrend. Let's actually see where that uptrend started. That uptrend started on the 5th of April, right? Somewhere around there. What is this date? 31st of March. Started 31st of March and basically been an uptrend since, right? So in this particular case, what we want to do is we want to trade with the uptrend. And the only time we want to trade with a downtrend is if we have an uptrend failure in in high liquidity hours. Because remember, failures in low liquidity hours is the normal standard, both up to the ups and to the downside. So a way we can construct our trading ideas is, so we know that from the 31st of March, it's been nothing but up. So let me just see if I can do this. 31.03.2021. I have to undo this. Let's see how far I can go. Okay, so here's the 1 minute chart on the 31st, right? So we know from this point onward, it's an upward trend, right? We also know that we don't trade except 10 to 19 GMT. And this, by the way, I believe is +3 to GMT. So in this case, it'll be 13 to 2200. Okay, so let's assume that on this chart, we're 13, 2200 when we're looking on the bottom here as our starting date. So we're just going to ignore everything until we get to about 1300 hours. Somewhere around here. Okay. And so somewhere around here, 1300 hours, we get our first buy signal. It's actually a buy fail, which is even better. But here's the thing, because we're upward biased, we don't need a buy fail signal. Just a buy alone will be good enough for us to take a trade. So we're in here, we're taking a trade. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Up, another trade up, right? We ignore the sell. I'll explain to you why we ignore a sell. Another trade up. So three winners in a row. We just keep banging them away. Actually, here's a fourth winner in a row. And I think even I'm not sure if this one is four. What is this one? This closes at 59. No, close 57, and the high here is 60. Yeah, it's a fifth winner in a row. Okay, fifth winner in a row. Okay, now here's the interesting thing. When will we take sell signals that are legitimate, given that we have a strong uptrend? And my argument is that we know that there's a strong uptrend. We only want to take sell signals that are fails within this particular time set, 1300 to 2200 on this particular chart, which is 10 to GMT. So we just ignore all this, we ignore all this, we ignore all this. And we're only really looking at, we're not going to look at the buys because the buys are pretty obvious. But here's a sell signal, okay? So here's a sell fail signal. You see what I'm saying? Because it did, this is close to 1300 sell fail signal. Is it a good signal? Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is. So one good fail signal do we have. And then everything else we're just ignoring on the sell side. Ignoring. And, we don't have any sell signals that we want to trade. We keep going. This is April 2nd. What time of the day is this? 1600 hours. 1600 hours, right? Between 13 and 19, sell fail signal. Good signal? Indeed it is. Certainly good enough for 10 points for us here. We ignore this because this is all, non-tradable, what I call non-tradable hours. Here we go again. Sell fail signal. I have not looked at this chart, guys, by the way. I've literally not looked at this chart. It's just I'm looking at this the first time as you are. So sell fail signal. Okay, sell fail signal. Do we want to do it? Indeed we do. Boom. Super good trade, right? Keep going. Okay. Non-tradable hours. Okay. Here we go. Tradable hours. I think this is the first. So we had like 3 positive sell signals in a row. I think, let's see. If we're short here, it's a 60 close, and the low over here is 50. It's marginal. I mean, I would call it a fail. Let's just because spreads wouldn't do us if we're going for 10-20. It's a fail. So okay, so 3-1 we're failing here. It's the first failed sell signal we've had, but very, very close. So hardly a bad signal. We keep going into the 1300 hours. Not 1300. We have no trades. And yes, we give up the opportunities when there's no fails, but it doesn't matter. So here's another one, another good one. So now we're 4-1, right? And I think the thing here was that April 7th was the Fed announcement. So I really wouldn't have traded this. clearly a bogus trade. But okay, I mean, if you want to make it, 4-2, you can make it 4-2, but it's really 4-1. I don't think this would be a legitimate short trade. Keep going, keep going, keep going. This is the 8th of April. I have no signals, no signals. I'm just looking for the shorts here because obviously we know what a long setup is. That's too early. It's really too early to consider this. 44 against 54. I mean, it would have worked. This Fed would have given us a little bit of heat because for 20 points, against, so it only goes 12 points against, and then it definitely goes 10 points for. But it's a little early, so I don't know. Yeah, you can count that if you counted the other one, but it's fine. So it's 5-2. Notice, how few signals there are. You basically don't have a lot of weakness because we've had continuous strength in the 1 hour, right? And so therefore, we are not, we're only trading when it really sets up as a weakness. When it really sets up. Here's a good one, 1300 hours, boom. So I think we're like at 6-2 in the worst case scenario. Here's another decent one. This definitely makes 10. So this is 79, goes up against us to closes here 70, goes 79 against us, and then way, way deep. So 2010 certainly gives us. So now we're like 8-2, right? I mean, 80%. This is what I'm talking about, being selective. 8-2 on we're going to be selective against time, selective against price. That's really the essence of what we're trying to do. We want to be selective against time, selective against price. Here's one final one, 1300, 9-2. Okay, by doing that, we're close to 80% on a 66% break-even trade. Here's to the downside. So essentially, let's just, we're pretty much close to here to today, and we had 10 trades from the 31st of, this is like in 2 weeks we had 10 trades. We had like five trades a week to the short side, and we were 80% accurate in those trades. Wasn't a lot of trades, but they were extremely, extremely accurate, which is what we're trying to do. So we want to select against time and select against price, because both are actually really important variables in the thing. And you see what I did here? It was just, it's no rocket science. It's just data. The data is telling me that the trend is up, right? As long as the data is telling me the trend is up, then I just want to be with the data. I want to set up the highest probability trade within the data set, right? So here we are on, this is the NDX. Here's the Dow. So we had a big breakout of Dow. I'm sorry guys, I missed that, but I really wanted to just run through this idea with you guys. So here's the interesting thing. Would we have taken this Dow trade to the upside? The critical question for us would have been that it needed to, that we needed the 1 hour to be positive. So I'm pretty sure the Dow is on a 1 hour is pretty positive. But let's just go here. Chart window, 1 hour. No, not really. It just turned positive now. So Dow's actually been a lot choppier. Dow's been more problematic, to the upside. It literally just turned positive. This is a big, big positive burst in the Dow, right? So from this point onward, for the rest of the day, when we get upside trades in a Dow, we get the next big upside break, we want to be long this thing. We want to be long this thing because now we have confirmation on a longer term time frame. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. All right. And we can extend this idea, obviously, to FX. But in FX, I think we need, we obviously, we can't use, the shortest time frames we can use in FX is 5 minutes. And to establish trend against that, I think we need to use the 4 hour chart. So if 1 minute is 1/60th of the 1 hour, the 5 minute is, what's 5 divided by 240? Close enough, right? About 48, close enough. I mean, it's 40, 48 distinct elements. That should give us density of time to give us an idea. So now let's take a look. We're gonna change our focus to currencies. We're gonna try and see if we can run the same idea of 5 against the 4 hour to establish, the short biases and long biases of how we want to trade, right? Because the beauty of what we have now is that we can make it what's the word I'm looking for, strict or loose as far as our parameters go. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Okay, Peter, that's great. That's great. We're gonna try and refine that. The whole point is we're gonna try to refine the automation with times to see if this refinement is going to give us even better results, right? So let's see where we got in the S&Ps right now. S&P did not have a strong trend because it was sold off hard, came back up. Where's the S&P actually? Let's look at the S&P on the my S&P. Oh, here's the S&P. Let's look at the S&P on the 1 hour chart to see what our trend is on the 1 hour chart. Strong up. S&P is just in a massive strong up. So again, the S&P, we want to trade the same idea. Any strong trend up signal we want to take during the hours, and only a sell failure do we want to sell. Who's chatting me in? Really? Hey, did Bernie Madoff die in prison? Seriously? Wow. Okay. Ugh. All right. Chat me in Slack. Don't chat me in Zoom because I can't. I don't really watch for Zoom. Okay. So where are we at? Let's take a look at currencies because I want to go the other way. So let's go profiles, FX trade. Okay. So I want to kill all of this. Let's do all of this in a different way. So we're going to go kill the euro. Kill this. Wow, this is old. Let me just make this a lot bigger. Again, it's MT4, which I absolutely despise. I do have the MT5s, but I want to set them up really nice and pretty, and then we will do those. So I think we'll say okay. All right, big trend. Okay. Okay, so this is, I want to go to 5 minutes. So the question is, your dollar, is the 4-hour trend is up? Trust me, it is. I mean, if you want to believe me, I go into your dollar. So here's the 4-hour trend, right? 4-hour trend has been up since the 5th of April, right? 5th of April, right? So let's go back to the 5th of April, just curious. And we're going to play this game on the 5-minute chart. So that would be 0504 2021. Okay. Oh, sorry. Everybody following please tell if you're confused, text me in Slack. I really want everybody to understand what I'm doing here. Okay. Well, let me just kill all of this. This is so ugly. I'm sorry. These are all defaults that I have to kill. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are bias up, right? And then the critical question is, I really don't have a good idea of what I consider good liquidity hours for the euro, right? Because it's clearly shitty liquidity hours for the euro as well. Probably we should start the euro at 2 a.m. New York, which is 6 GMT, which is probably like around 9. Maybe how about 10? How about like from 3 until, let's say we call the currencies the 12-hour, the 12-hour European time frame, 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. New York as the proper for the European currencies. Well, the Asian currencies, I think we have to, the Asians being Aussie, Kiwi, yen, have to trade 24 hours. But the Europeans, we trade 12 hours, okay, as our time selection. Just bear with me on that. So in this particular case, we only trade from like 10 to 2200 in this chart. So we're upward bias, which means every strong trend up, we take the trade, right? But on the downside, we only take failure trades. So in this case, this is a failure trade, but it's a little early. It's 7 o'clock. This is not a failure trade. You don't have a diamond in here, right? And actually, again, my defaults here are very hard to see. So let's just change those around. We want this to be black. This way you can really see it clearly. And I wonder if I did this, maybe 8. Okay, so you see there's a right here, but not over here. Okay, so no trade here, long trade. We don't care about long trades. Again, I want to see my thesis being that we only want to take to do the short trades. The only short trades we want to take are within our time frame. So here we go. Short fails, right? Short fails into this 1800 hours. It's within our time frame. Winner, right? So we're only from the 5th of April. Here's one that is a loser. So here's one. What that is at 1500? Okay, 1-1. Fair enough. I don't know what the hell this is. This is 9th, and this is a little bit past. Oh, this is not even a strong trade down. Okay, so we'll let that go. I don't have that many. I really don't have that many samples, right? So here's a trade that would have worked because the euro clearly dipped here hard. I don't know what the hell this was. Oh, this must have been CPI data. Again, I wouldn't have traded this just because it's CPI data, not really legitimate. So we don't have that many trades, which is just as fine. Now, conversely, say I'm trading, let's just go back to euro to the 5th of April, and all I want to trade is just the long trades. I just want to trade the long trades. Again, I only want to trade trades from 1300, long winner, right? This is not my time frame, not my time frame. Long winner. Not my time frame. This is actually a winner. It kind of dips against you, but you have 20 points of room here. You're long at 89. You're looking for 99. It's 98 here. It comes down to like 79. It eventually does. So that's a winner. Okay. Again, notice how selective I am. And by the way, this is a great winner too. It's a winner to the downside because it fails at the right time frame. Not my time frame. Not my time frame. Not my time frame. Here's 1300. Winner. Okay. Boom. Doesn't even have to be a failure. It's still a winner. My time frame, a winner. My time frame, 1300, 1100. Winner. Maybe we'll make it 1200. It's good enough. I mean, this is after my time frame, right? Already too late. This is already 3 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. It's dead time. Don't want to trade, around dead time. This is obviously a winner off of break, so that's fine. And what else do I have today? And I have something. I'm floating now. So now we're literally like in this 66 trade, trying to see if this holds up. So far, like there was really 3 or 4 winning trades from the start of the week, or from the 5th of April, which was like actually last week, in this particular currency pair, all to the long side. And we'll see if this is, this is going to be, if this fails, we'll still have 4-1, 80% accuracy by being selective across time. If this wins, we'll be at like 5-0. So, my point being is less is more. We get selective across time. We get a selective across price. We get selective as to the kind of price action we encounter. And reducing, we get to the highest possibility. We get to where we want to go, which is our nirvana, an 80% trade, right? To get to an 80% trade, we have to throw away 90% of garbage, right? Because we only want the absolute best samples. So that helps us a lot. And obviously, with the EA being able to do longs and shorts and times and everything else, all of this can be completely modified into a quasi-automated strategy, and we could run this across a wide variety of trades, right? We can take a look at one more example, while everything is kind of floating, and then we'll go back to stocks and see what's going on with stocks. So let's take a look at one more example. So we have euro yen, and I want to take a look at is euro yen what's the long-term trend here? Chart window 1 hour, 4 hours, sorry. On the 4-hour chart, it's up. It's kind of struggling. I mean, look at this. It's a very, very problematic uptrend, but nevertheless, still an uptrend, right? Still an uptrend on the 4-hour chart. So how does it look on a 5-minute chart? So that means, we're scalping to the upside on the 5-minute chart. Let me go to default. Okay. And so, clearly within our time frame, great looking chart. Boom. This also, by the way, is within our time frame. It's a fail. We only want to take fails on the sell side, and this goes 10 points. This comes in at 30, and it goes all the way down to 20. So, trading 10, 20, nice clean trade, good selection. Let's see if I can get up to, oh shoot, I forgot. When was the break? Okay. So this break was, what day was the break here? 29th of March. This has been really since March. Yeah, since the 29th of March, it's been in this funky little uptrend. So 29/03/2021. Okay, we're over here. So again, I only want to trade 13 to 2200, 12. Let's say 12 to 2200. Let's do that. So I'm ignoring all of this. Upside, winners. No trade here. Good trade here. This is I'm only going to look at the short side just to kind of confirm that the weak side. How do I trade the weak side? The weak side with much more stricter conditions. So the weak side here, definitely a winner to the downside. I'm ignoring all of this. This is 2100. I guess it's just at the end of where we want to be. So I guess you could trade this, and this still works for 10 points. Okay, I'm ignoring this. Sorry, was this a trade? Yeah, this is the 1st of April. This is, but no, it's not a strong trend. Okay, we want both. This is the other thing, is we want a failure on a strong trend. So this would have been, the algo would have kicked this out, because you see it's not a strong arrow. It's just a small retrace, therefore not a true failure. Here, it's an 8 o'clock trade, so we ignore this, we ignore this, we ignore this. This is 4 o'clock trade, we ignore the shorts here. We don't have that many short failures within our time frame, so we ignore this one. But here it is. Here's a good one. Boom. 2. I think this is the third trade in this sample. What about here? Yeah, I mean this is not a strong trade. No strong trend, so not a trade. So we just ignore this. This is not our time frame. No time frame. Not a strong trade. You see how we're just ignoring everything that even has a minimum chance of failure, right? So we're just ignoring all this. We actually have only 2 or 3 tiny little trades that go our way. So this is interesting. So this trade, I wonder what the hell happened here. This was 26. This actually, look at this. So it's a miserable little trade. It's a legitimate signal. It's 1900 hours, which is like 12 noon yesterday. We had just basically look at this. We just had no price action, but we did not get stopped out. We had a 20-point stop, and it eventually goes down in Asia session and makes a trade. So you had maybe only 3 or 4 trades, but every one of them was a winner in this particular section. And that's all you want, You're doing something wrong. There's no lock on the EA. You can change anything. You can change lot size, time frames, buy, sells, everything. Everything is can be done. Maybe on Friday when it's quiet, I'll have a how to set up the EA. I know because Krasi also wanted that function. So maybe on Friday we'll just do a EA setup. I don't want to do it until I have everything structured. But yeah, I mean EA can be set up in any way. Anyways, the important part is to understand the principle, because once you can understand the principle, then we can configure the EA in the exact precise structure of the principle, which is what we're trying to do, right? So everything we've been doing is eliminating trades. I mean, instead of taking more trades, we've been taking less and less trades, because the whole idea is to find the beauties, to find the real value trades, and ignore all the rest and just throw it out. Just be super selective. Everybody with me on this? Does everybody understand? I think now we can go back to, unless there's any more questions, we can go back to indices and just see what's going on with indices right now. So remember we said that the Dow is, long-term upward biased. We're biased up. So like actually what we're going to do every day from now on is we're going to go through the indices and the currencies, and we're going to we're going to basically say to ourselves, bias up, bias down on each thing, and then we can trade. And whichever bias we are, then the other side, the weak side, requires a much stricter set of trades. The strong side requires lower set of lower parameters, right? They're still strict, but not as strict as long as. And that basically creates, I think, a very, very complete system for us. Because as you know, it's not just buying or selling, it's not just the setup, it's the setup within context, and context always changes, and context is always different. And depending on the context, your setup really is great, or your setup is the opposite of your setup is great, right? So the whole point is not to be in a context where the opposite of your setup is great, right? We don't want to. We just basically don't want to be in a setup where the opposite of your setup is great, and that requires, that kind of a thought of like, what's the longer term message here? Where does that inform our strong weak biases, and hopefully gives us just a little bit more of an edge. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing going on here today. Today is just the trades kind of like happened beforehand. There was some nice trades. I traded the Nasdaq to the upside earlier because we had the earnings numbers. That was a great trade right here. There was another trade right here which I traded. And that was pretty much it. And and now we just hang because there's nothing going on here. Sorry, I think these are wrong. I traded. This is NAS. Yeah. So I traded. Oops. Let me take this off. I traded this to the upside and this to the upside. As a trade. What's interesting here, by the way, is so this is kind of interesting. So this was a short fail, right? So if you were short here, it was 14.13. I think you actually made money on this because the low here was really why? What time was this? Oh, this is just 1300 hours. No, that's why I didn't trade this. Yeah, this is just literally because on this particular chart it's 1300 hours, which is just not what we want to trade. You want to trade that after the 1300 hours. So really there was only like two big trades here from this time frame. But it's interesting to see. So anyways, I think this is as good an edge as we're ever going to get. We're never going to get a perfect edge. We're going to get as good an edge as we possibly can. And with all of the configurations that we have now, we should be able to do everything. So I'm going to I'm going to edit out all the parameters and put the 4, the 5, and the EA, the 4 and the 5 inside. We can kind of use the indicators tomorrow, and then on Friday we'll try to configure everything so you guys can play around with it. All right. I think we're pretty much set on everything that we want to do. Any final questions? Anything else on your mind, guys? Jonathan, I haven't seen you in a long time. Where you been? Oh, okay. MT5 is done. You mean is there an MT5 combo? Yes, there is. There is. I want to configure it because programmers are just they're great at logic. They're horrible at aesthetics. So I'm gonna program it to its full extent. Remember, there's it's a Swiss Army knife. There's 100 different variants that we're just not even exploring. We're just simply suppressing because I just want to work on the trend break variant as the most interesting one. We probably could explore various setups for the rest of the year with this thing. But for now, let's just focus on the cleanest, simplest, breakout in trend, breakdown only when the probability is really, really, breakdown and failure. Okay, so breakout and trend, breakdown and failure is the shorthand for what I'm trying to basically do with the strategy. Okay. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna work on all this stuff here. Any questions, let me know in the room, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. All right, take care.